What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? It's hopefully the sun is shining where you are. We are chatting today. I'm chatting with the amazing Miss Dawnna St. Louis. And we're going to be chatting today about how do you challenge the status quo and how that relates to building freedom and flexibility in your business, how it affects how you show up for your clients, but ultimately how it drives revenue and profits to your business. Before we jump into that, let me introduce myself and then Donna's going to introduce herself. My name is Chanel, and coaches and experts hire me when they want to dominate on social media. And I do that with, oh, you got somebody like going live with you. And if it's Mike, get off. but, but here's sorry, we have a little inside joke between me and Donna. But my name is Chanel, and coaches, experts hire me when they want to dominate on social media. I do that by helping them create cash generating social media strategies to be able to attract more clients, bring more money into their business, and ultimately have more freedom. So I'm chatting today with, look, if y'all have never, ever, ever even come across Miss Donna, Coach Dawnna, Strategist Dawnna, Firebrand Dawnna, y'all are in for a treat. When I tell y'all this lady drops fire, I'm ready for it. So Dawnna, introduce yourself and let's jump right on into it.
What's up? What's up? What's up? I only recently learned what I do when I grow up. So it turns out what I really do is I help people craft, launch, and fill ultra high ticket program. They are generally speakers. They are experts in their field. They're entrepreneurs. They're crushing it already, but they're like, I want to crush it at another level. And so I'm like, I got you. Let's crush it at that level. And so that's usually what I'm working on.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. And she's being
And you know
humble
me,
for
I
sure.
got a
She helps
formula.
crush. She
Yeah.
absolutely got a formula and teaches other people how to create a formula for themselves as well. So let's get into one of the most famous Donna-isms that I know is challenging the status quo. I hear
Yes.
you say that a lot. How does that relate to, first of all, where did it come from? But specifically, how does challenging the status quo help us be more free and flexible in our business?
Well, I think first we have to understand what the status quo is. Status quo, a lot of people talk about status quo, which is what everybody's doing, or one of my favorites is best practices. People are always talking about, you have to look at the best practices. And especially when I worked in corporate, the company that was setting the standard for best practices at the time in IT was Microsoft, right? People used to say all the time, like, if you hire Microsoft, you're not going to get fired, right? Of course, right? That was kind of the joke back then, right? And I even back then was, a bit of a rebel, definitely a firebrand. And I would say things like, well, best practices are only best practices until we get a hold of them, right?
Right.
Right. Best practices are best practices for that company. It doesn't mean it's best practices for you. And where it really hit me was, so I'm going to give everybody a little surprise. If you would have met me about 13, 14 years ago, you would have seen me with long, blonde, straight hair, wrapped up in a bun,
Mm,
wearing clutch the pearls, right?
never, never.
Clutch the pearls with little pearl earrings, wearing the Hillary Clinton Teletubby suit with loafers. With y'all know what the suit is, with loafers,
But not the loafers, though. Not the
with
loafers.
loafers, right? And just 100% like not being me. I was literally fitting in because the status quo for a speaker on stage was that she was a 40 plus year old white woman with blonde hair
Hmm.
who was generally somewhere in the Bible Belt area, definitely wearing the pearls, just that whole thing, right? Thank you, girl. Um, Shout out for Kava and her skincare line. Anyway, that I done got hooked on. Um, anyway, yeah, Bianca girl, I got pictures. Let me tell you that whole I was fitting in the status quo. I was literally trying to take
Hmm.
all of me and fit in a perfect. I was trying to put my size 12 booty into a size 6 box, and it just did not work. And it
Right.
wasn't me. What am I? I wear, stiletto nails with with metal earrings and, usually crazier curly hair. So I wasn't being me. So the status quo doesn't mean that it fits you.
And
That's what
that the
everybody
what
else does.
what I also love that you said that you touched on, think about what it does to your mindset when you're constantly trying to fit into a box that you don't belong in. You're sitting
That
in
you're
a
too big
cubicle,
for, that you're
right?
too amazing for, that your personality, your mindset, your badassery, your language, your everything
Everything,
is too big, and you hate yourself because you're not small. Huh?
right,
No, they can't handle your greatness. How is that your
right.
problem? That's
Yep,
theirs.
absolutely. Absolutely. So one of the things that you are awesome with is teaching entrepreneurs, teaching coaches, like you said, speakers, experts on how to take that badassery, get out the box, move forward. So let's chat about like a little bit about like how you do that from like a methodology standpoint and some of the
Right.
things that we're going to touch on when we even get to our virtual summit that we'll talk about in a little bit.
I think so it's kind of funny. I'm glad you're asking me this question because I have this new cohort of people that are going through my program, and when I tell them that you're going to do a 6-figure program, well, I mean, once you get it started, you could do them in like 3 months, but it takes 6 months to put all the foundation in, right?
Right.
So when I tell them you're gonna do a 6-figure program in 6 months, they're looking at me like, I'm just trying to make 6 figures this year, right? I'm just trying to continue that. And you're talking
Right.
about making it in a quarter. And I'm like,
Hmm.
no, you're going to do that. And the very first thing that I will tell you that helps them change the game is when I take them from I know that I do this stuff and it
Hmm.
just kind of happens, to having their own methodology with their own
Right.
language and their own name, and then they start seeing all the stuff they do and those deliverables and the inputs and the outputs and the
Hmm.
actual work, and like they document it. They're like, oh, I do some stuff, somebody needs to pay me. And I'm like,
Absolutely.
yes.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I am proof of that, like freedom and that flexibility to move around and change how I was doing stuff. So I met Dawnna. I was in her program about a year or so ago.
Mhm.
And she was one of the people that was like, okay, let's take what you do and we're gonna get a 6-figure event out of it. And I'm like, girl, ain't no way. Like there's no way. But when you work, here's the thing about like when you shift your mindset and when you surround yourself around people that just think different and challenge the status quo, it forces you to challenge the status quo as well. So make sure you're surrounding yourself around coaches and experts and your business besties that make you think at a different level.
Mhm. Yeah. You have to have people who think much bigger than you do, who will force you. And I am using the word force because sometimes I'm like, listen, I'm going to drag you buck naked over broken glass in the middle of winter to this money, but you're going to get there. It's going to hurt. We'll get the splinters
Right.
out later, but let's go. Right.
Yep. Let's
And
go.
because I never, what frustrates me is that sometimes people sit here and go, oh, it's just easy. And I'm like, I make it easier, but there still is work. Like we never
Right.
pretend that there's not work. But the
Well, some
difference
people do, but you don't.
right.
Some people
Yeah,
do,
I
but you do
don't.
not.
Listen, listen, your girl ain't never gonna see and be like, you ain't gotta do nothing. Yes, you do. Yes,
Right.
you do. Because you gotta put that foundation in place. Because without the foundation, the rest of it isn't gonna happen. You're just gonna
Right.
fall apart. So yeah, I never pretend there's not work. You're gonna have to do the work. But the thing is, once that work is in place, then everything from there is, and I'm like, your methodology is in your money. Your money's
Hmm.
in your methodology. You're just gonna make money hand over fist. You're gonna have to do work, but it's doable. It's there, and it literally is following a step by step process.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So one of the things that you have taught me, but heard you say a number of times, and this kind of really shifted how I thought about my business, and I know that this is going to help some other people in the audience as well, is get your fingers off the keyboard. Like
Yes,
literally document everything that you do, and then figure out what you're good at, what you should be doing, and oop, the stuff you're not supposed to be doing, the stuff you're not great at, the stuff that takes you too long, outsource it and get your hands off the keyboard,
right.
get your fingers unglued from the phone.
They're not paying you for this. They're paying you for this. When
Yeah.
you can really understand that they're not paying you to type, you can hire somebody to type. They're not paying you to type. They are really paying you to think. They
Hmm.
want you to use your best brain, right? Because when people come to me, they'll say, "Okay, this is where I'm stuck." And I'm like, "All right, Let's sit here and talk about how you're stuck. Let's do that. And then let's pull that out, because what people really want is they need your brain. That's what they're doing. They're renting your brain. They are not renting your fingers.
Right, right. I call that outsourcing my mindset. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
not just, outsourcing my mindset, because a lot of times as entrepreneurs, as business owners, we get stuck sometimes. And so you have to be able to go to someone that can think, expand your thought process. So outsource your mindset for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And outsource your mindset to people. You're going to surround yourself. So I always look at the degrees, right? So you're going to have someone who's 1 or 2 steps behind you, 3 steps behind you. Those people are your clients, right? And for me, I'm always reaching back and going, okay, I need you to catch up with me. Now, what's funny is there's someone above me who is, and here's the difference when you get to a certain level. You won't need a singular coach to help you with your business. You start needing very
A team.
specific coaches for very specific. Yes, it takes a team to work this girl. So one coach can't do it. Lord, it takes like a whole bunch of them. Like, she's dragging me. You need, like, I have a mindset coach, right? But then I have a top of funnel coach just for my top of funnel. Then I have a middle of funnel and bottom of funnel coach just for the middle and bottom of funnel. Then I got somebody who says, hey, you know what? If you spend that like that, you're going to go to IRS jail. So then I got somebody making that I go to IRS jail, right? So I have these people above me that are keeping me going forward faster. Then I have my colleagues that are next to me that are doing different things. And then I have the people who I'm coaching to bring me up. You want to be surrounded by those people. You want to be
absolutely
surrounded by them. And yeah, you should be paying them.
Absolutely.
You should be paying the people here for sure. These people you should be partnering with, and these people are your clients.
Yeah, I love that analogy for sure. So you brought up the clients. So let's talk about clients and having the freedom and flexibility to choose the clients that you want to work with. And one of the sayings that you always say that I literally crack up every time you say it is make your business a private club and not a public park.
Finish it. Stop letting people come in and piss on your trees.
Absolutely.
Stop doing that. Because what happens is the people who you listen, we've always, all of us had that time where we're like, but they gonna pay my whole fee.
Right.
They're gonna pay my whole fee up front. Now, I know they're gonna be a pain in the butt. I know they're gonna be the worst client ever. I know all of this, but they're gonna pay my full fee. And then you get them. And then you work with them. And they work you like a runaway slave. They are
the problem
on you
is
all
you
the
know
time.
it before you take the money.
You
know it when the money hit the account and you're like,
oh my gosh. And here's where it gets real bad. They done worked you behind like a runaway slave. And then they turn around and dispute them charges.
Yeah, those are fighting words right there.
You don't work for free for the past 3 months because they hit that
fighting words.
They hit that 89-day mark on the American Express. They're like, reject. And American Express like, rejected. And then you start finding out things like, I can't dispute this because I'm cross state lines or whatever.
Oh my gosh. Yes. So yes, you're tuning in. I'm chatting with Coach Dawnna, strategist Dawnna, firebrand Dawnna, and she is literally dropping fire. And we're chatting about challenging the status quo so we can do business differently and have the freedom and flexibility to get out of corporate or build your business the way you want to, the way you designed it, the way being able to do it rooted based in freedom. So we're chatting about really challenging status quo, but we talked about getting your hands off the keyboard so that people are paying for your brain, paying for your strategy, but then talking about the flexibility to choose the clients that you want to work with, your dream clients, your premium clients.
Right. Yeah, and we really want to talk about that dream client. Here's the thing. You have this post that I absolutely love that says, what is your ideal client drink at Starbucks?
Yes.
I tell people all the time. I use that quote all the time. In fact, and I'm not. I just put it in this. I just put it in that. I literally have in there. I swear to you, I have in there. I'm like, you need to know your dream client like your bestie, like you know what they gonna order from Starbucks, a la Chanel.
Right.
It literally says that in there because I'm like, because you need to know them so well. And so what happens is a lot of people when they get in, I ask them, I said, so who's your ideal client? And they're like, well, I could work with everybody. I'm like, we're not a communist country, honey. You can't work with everybody, but that's
And it's
not what I'm
not
saying.
Walmart. And it's not Walmart.
We are not Walmart. I'm literally saying, who do you, here's the two questions I like to ask. Who do you want to work with? And here's the super, super secret magic. What do they bring to the table that makes your life easier? What do they already have in place? What have they already done?
That part. And
Because
I will
that's the part.
really say you helped me shift that. And that probably is a word for somebody today. Your client should be a superstar. Your client
Yes.
just needs you to get to that next level. So they
Yes.
gotta come to the table with something.
Yes.
You got somebody fresh off the street, baby. That's worse than somebody that
Let me tell you. You know, and here's the other thing. Here's the other thing. I'll talk to somebody and I'll say like something like, so tell me about who your ideal client is. And this is what I will hear. I am not kidding you. Well, they broke as hell. They busted. They can't figure out how to make things going in the morning. They struggling. They about to die. And I'm like,
that sounds fun.
Are you a vampire? Like, are you gonna bring them back to life? Are you trying to build a cult? What are you doing? No, that's not your ideal client. As compared to, I said, and this is what I really say: don't ever describe your ideal client in a way that you would not describe them in front of them. So when I describe my ideal clients know it because I describe them the same way in front of them. Like, my ideal clients are badasses. They got up this morning. They figured out how to dominate. They probably got 90% there. They pissed off about that other 10%. So they're doing 110 tomorrow. Right. They are ready to go. They have no excuses. Excuses are for somebody else. They are on point. And you know what they're like? They're like, listen, it's not the money. It's not the time. I need this to be easier. Because if you make it easier for me, I'm going to get to the money. I just need you to make it easier for me.
Right.
I got all of this.
And fast and accelerate.
And fast. Right. Right. Well, the thing is, if you make it easier, then time and money, speed and money will happen. Right. So they come to me like, I need you to make this easier because if you make it easier for me, I'll do the rest. But they come with that mindset already of how can I make this happen? They're already ready to go. But I'll talk to some people and I'm like, your ideal client is not the person who could not figure out how to get out of the bed in the morning and put on like some yoga pants, right? If they can't even get up and go for like a walk in the morning, they are not ready for your 30-day fitness challenge.
Absolutely.
They're out.
Yep, absolutely. Or your 3-day challenge, or your master class, or your mansion retreat, or your boot camp, whatever that service is. So
they're not. And a lot of times, by the way, that person who's all the way at the bottom of the barrel, which I find a lot of times, I'll talk to coaches and they're like, I got to help them. I'm going to tell you a secret. You are competing with government programs and services that can already help them for free. So stop. They're getting all the stuff they need.
Yep. So stop. And it burns you out. It stresses you out. And it ties you. We're talking about freedom and flexibility in your business. It ties you to the keyboard because you're constantly trying to do something to chase those clients. And here in a circle.
And here's the other thing. And I'm now I'm just going to go in because we had the 20-minute mark almost. So now I'm going to just go ahead and go in and just insult all the coaches out there. Here we go. And the reason you going after those broke, busted, and people down at the bottom is because, quite honestly, you probably don't really believe in your own services well enough to work with people at a higher level.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, drop the mic on that one. Drop the mic. That just helped you. Bianca said that word just blessed her. So
I'm just saying that's what you're doing. You don't believe enough in your services to work with higher end. So you keep working with lower end because, that make you feel like a superstar. Somebody just wrote, well, damn.
Right. Right. Well, damn. Yes. Well, but this is what these are real conversations that need to be had. As business owners, coaches, experts, we're brilliant, right? And we want to be able to build in more freedom, more flexibility in our business. And a lot of what Dawnna is sharing is a mindset shift. It's not just that you don't have the expertise, it's you don't have the mindset to charge more. You don't have the mindset to choose your clients. You don't have the mindset to be able to challenge the status quo and get after what you're trying to get after, for sure.
Absolutely. And it's frustrating because I love that. And they become your neediest and first to bad Matthew when you fail, do their own accord. That is so true. I just said this the other day, and I'm like, stop blaming a coach for your results.
Right.
You don't blame a book for your lack of intelligence. Stop blaming the coach for your lack of results. If I want to get ROI, I need to go get the ROI. Absolutely. If I got a bad coach, here's the part that people hate when I ask. I get people all the time to say, but I got a bad coach. I had a bad coach too. Here's what it means when I got a bad coach. What's your part in it? Well, I didn't do my due diligence and make sure they had a methodology. I didn't go and do all the homework. I just took somebody else's word for it, and I was lazy. I ended up spending the money, and because I ended up spending the money, I ended up getting a bad coach. That
absolutely,
right? Bianca's killing me. That is my part in it. And here's the thing. So here's a really quick lesson for anybody who ever runs into this. Number one, when you say that about a bad coach, let me show you what really happens. When I was 7 years old, I had gotten my first, like 10 speed or 3-speed bike, the ones with the brakes on the handlebars instead of the ones where you push the pedal back. So I got that, and I'm going out there fast as hell. And what do? What we all have done, flip straight over the front.
Right, skid your knee.
Face planted, over the front, face planted, skidded across the sidewalk, got a little gravel up in there, the whole thing, right? I was 7. And I literally looked at the bike. I cried. I dusted off, but I cried. I got up because if I wouldn't have taken that bike back home, my mom would have kicked my behind. So that bike was making it back home, and I better ride it. And I better ride it on Christmas. I better ride it, right? So I got my butt up. I got back on that bike, and I ran fast as hell. And I owned the fact that I should never, ever, ever touch that front brake again. That was my part in it. It wasn't the bike's fault. The bike didn't do anything. I did that. So when people tell me I had a bad, so I took ownership of that. And by taking ownership of that and not blaming the bike, it allowed me to get back on that bike. And that bike gave me freedom to go places that I hadn't gone before. When you blame your results on a bad coach, then what you're doing is you're allowing that coach to continue to traumatize you over and over and over again. Because you're like, I'm never going to get another coach again. I'm never going to get a coach again. Okay, well, you're not as smart as a 7-year-old who figured out how to get back on the bike.
Right. Absolutely.
If you take responsibility, then you take ownership for your successes and your failures.
Yep, absolutely. And there's a LinkedIn user that said that she wasn't clear, or he wasn't clear on what they wanted, what he or she wanted. So the coach is going to coach you through what their understanding is, through their methodology. Right. So if you reach out to a coach and you're not clear on what you're supposed to be getting, what you even want out of the relationship, what do you even want for your own business, that relationship is always going to be a mismatch.
That's right. And what I would tell somebody when they're like, I'm not clear on what I want, like, I won't even take on those clients. I will have a conversation with them, right? I will have a conversation with them, but I'll be very clear. Like, listen, if you're not looking to do this or not looking to do this, I'm not the coach for you. What I would suggest you do, and I'll give them a very specific go forward plan. But a lot of times, what people are looking for? They're looking for a magic bullet, and they don't want to make any real decisions on their own. And you have to. Yeah, they don't work. If you don't work, this ain't the life for you.
Yeah, no, entrepreneurship coaching is not the life if you're not trying to get up and dust yourself off from the bike fall, for sure.
Right, because you're gonna face plant a lot. You're gonna face plant a lot. Straight up, you're gonna face plant a lot. Now, what people don't understand is that face planting does not mean financial failure. Mm-hmm. I face planted into $150,000 last month. So, you're going to face plant a lot. But what you have to understand is that definition of that face plant does not mean financial loss.
Absolutely. Yeah. Even in the long run, for sure. Even if you feel like it in the short run, and the long run, for sure, you're gonna
Right.
recover and you're gonna learn from the lessons, learn from that skidded knee,
That's
that
good.
face plant, and
Right.
keep it moving.
And
Yep,
keep it
and keep it
moving.
moving.
And I say, and the thing is, what happens is the more that you face plant, the more that you make mistakes, the better your business is. Like I mean, I have really, really, really face planted into like $500,000 here and $100,000 there. And I keep doing it, right? I
Hmm.
keep doing it. And so people are constantly looking for perfection. I don't want people to be a perfectionist. I want them to be a progressionist. I
Right.
would prefer that you fail often and go, not okay, I did that, I tried it, that
Yeah. Let
wasn't
me
for
make some
me.
tweaks.
Let me
Right.
make some tweaks and let's do this. You know, and here's a great example because both you and I do mansion retreats. The very first mansion retreat you do is amazing.
Hmm.
And the worst one you're ever going to do.
I know. And when you told me that, I was like, really?
Yeah. I'm like, it's gonna be amazing, right? And then 5 minutes after it's over, you're sitting there going, okay, let's talk about what I'm doing different next time,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Even though it was amazing and everyone in there. So that's what I mean. You're gonna fail into money because you're gonna do these amazingly good things, and then you're gonna turn around and look at them, and you're gonna go, you know what? Let me talk about what I'm gonna do different next time. Let's talk about
Hmm.
this. Let's talk about this. And you know what I should have done? Da 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 da.
Right.
You have to be cool with that as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, absolutely. And expect it. Really, to
Yeah,
be honest, you have to expect it and not look at it as a failure. You have to
right.
expect the failures. You have almost have to chase them and get out
You
there and
do.
so that you can fail fast and recover.
Yes, absolutely. Listen, I am really big on taking um big crazy risks all the time. I
Mhm.
just told you recently, I'm like, listen, we're gonna take 60% of everything in the account and we're gonna invest it in this coaching company. So let's see what happens. It's either gonna kill us or it's gonna make us super successful. And everybody like, is she
Really?
smoking something? Right.
Right. Right,
But
really?
here's
Okay.
the choice. Here's the choice. Here's a real choice. And I do mean this with all my heart. And anybody who knows me knows that I eat my own dog food. I would prefer to, or as Leslie would tell me, drink my own wine, but I don't drink. I
Right,
need
right.
barbecue music, but we're gonna go with it. Here is the thing. You can fail, you can die over 18 months. A long, slow, painful, hard death.
Right,
Or you could die really, really quick and resurrect. Like, which one
right,
do you want?
right.
Right?
Exactly. The
So
answer
I'm
is
like,
clear to me, but
right. I'm like, let's put 60% in. Let's go take 60% of everything we got right now and go at this really, really, really hard.
mhm.
And the thing is, when I say it's gonna kill us, it's not. Like
No, it's not.
my team is like, ha ha ha, she's so funny. Right. Because they're like, no, it's not. It's not gonna kill us. We're just gonna
No.
figure it out.
Yeah,
Right? It
absolutely.
forces you to figure it out. If you don't have that type of testicular fortitude or nerve and audacity, then coaching or speaking or being an entrepreneur, quite honestly, is not for you.
No, no, you got to learn how to fail, chase the fail, and fail fast. So these are just a couple of, I mean, we've already chatted for 20, 25 minutes or so, and Dawnna has already, like, she probably blessed y'all already, but she is going to be one of my keynote speakers at my Freedom is the New Flex virtual summit. And here's why I love Dawnna and being able to just have her pour into this summit because she keep it real. Like sometimes you need people that are going to tell you how it is and be able to take this step and then move to the next level. So the Freedom is the New Flex virtual summit. It kicks off on June 15th. It's designed for
So I should
action
be
takers.
available. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Yep, absolutely. Yep. But Donna's going to be a speaker as well as some other powerhouse trailblazers. And it's designed for action takers. It's designed for coaches, experts who recognize your fingers are stuck to the keyboard and you're trying to get out. That you want to be able to, summer's coming, you want to be able to travel and know that your business is still running in the back end for you. That you want to learn how to challenge the status quo. I put the link in the caption. I'll add it here to the comments as well, but it's freedomisaflex.com. Go there. There are two options. There's the free version, which is on June 15th. But y'all know how I feel about free, and Dawnna's going to tell you how she feels about free as well. But if you like me, and if you're like Dawnna, that VIP because we like to fast move. We like to fail fast and keep it moving and then go on to the next thing. There's a VIP option. And with that, I have some amazing sponsors that are going to be able to come in, give you some awesome business building resources. Leslie with the Wine Concierge is sponsoring, and she's going to be shipping out wine to everyone for the summer soiree. And you get to meet in VIP with other networking and other bosses to be able to just really collaborate, be intentional about your networking, and take your business to the next level.
Hey, Chanel, let me give you something that why VIP is so important. I love, by the way, Cheryl was like testicular 42 is my new favorite. Don't forget ovarian audacity. You got to add ovarian audacity. I want to share a quick story about VIP and how and why, even when I don't have the money, I always do VIP. Here's why. It's a really quick story. So back when I was like 19, 20 years old, the CEO of the company that I was working for would take people who were junior, like people they would never even know, like he would never even know they would exist. He would take them to conferences, right? And so we would go to these conferences. He would take us to this conference. And so I'm going with this guy to this conference. We are walking in what would be late, okay? Because there's like 2,000 people in this place. It is full. And we walk in. So what am I doing? I'm all the way at the back. So I'm like at the back and I'm looking for like, there's got to be a chair back here somewhere that we can sit in, right? This man grabs my arm and starts walking me down the aisle. And I'm like, oh, we're going to go to the middle. He must see 2 seats. And we keep walking past the halfway point. And I'm like, oh, maybe he knows somebody. And then we keep walking all the way to the front. And we turn around and we face the audience. And I'm like,
you're like, he has lost his mind.
What are we doing? And the man looks at the front row and he sees there's some seats separated. And he walks up there, he goes, ladies, would you mind moving down a little bit? Because this is my niece's first conference and I would really like her to have front row. And, we were just running a little late because of lipstick. You know how that goes. Would you mind? I'm like, I ain't even wearing lipstick. Right. And so we sit right there, front and center. And, I'm looking at him like, do you know these people? Like, what's happening? And this is what he taught me. Most valuable lesson of my life in regards to conferences. He said, the person sitting in the back, the person who didn't get the VIP, he goes, generally the people who show up late, but the people who don't fight to be up front, who don't fight for VIP, the person in the back, they're going to be taking notes. They're going to write a bunch of notes. They're going to talk to their friends. They're going to go to the bathroom sometime in the middle. They're
playing on their phone.
Coffee. They're trying to do all this other stuff. But you know what they're not trying to do? They're not trying to make sure that the person who is the expert, the person who's right there at the front, that person knows that there's really only 3 people at this conference, us 2 and him. Because when there's a question, we're going to raise our hand. When there's an opportunity to volunteer, you're going to stand up. You're not going to raise your hand. You're going to stand up and go up. When there is a time for it, when he says something and he asks for a answer, we're going to answer. When he throws out a hyperbolic, we're going to be right there with him. He's going to know who we are in our name. He goes, at the break, he's going to come and talk to us. He's going to thank us for participating. He goes, because we are going to get our ROI. That's why we're here. Because if you're going to be at the conference, then be at the damn conference.
Right. Absolutely.
So if you're going to be here, be here. And do you know that ever since then, every time I go, if I'm either at the front row or if they got that quartered off, I'm trying to get in it anyway, or I'm right behind the front row. And every time they ask a question, I'm like, right here. Hello. How you doing? Yes. No, I got a question. What, somebody's behind me? I don't even know those people. Right. Because obviously you came here for me. This is
right.
When people show up to my events, I'm the same way. If you come and you sit front and center, I'm giving you all the attention because you showed up, you raised your hand, you participated.
Yep. And you know what that means? That I'm ready for action.
I'm ready for action. Yep. And that person who's on stage is going to give you more attention. If you're going to go to the summit, go to the damn summit. If you're going to take the time, be there. Don't sit in the back of the room playing with your notes and listening to it like you're walking around. Do something with it. Otherwise, don't waste your time and don't waste your nails.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's freedomIsAflex.com. Ms. Dawnna's going to be there as well as some awesome ladies trailblazers, men as well. So cannot wait to see y'all. So Dawnna, where can people find you? I already know Firebrand, but where can people find you? They want to get to know you, or I won't even say get to know you because you only work with a certain select. So where can people find out some information about you?
Right. Well, for sure, firebrand.net. That's the easiest one to go to. The other one that people can always find me on is it. Honestly, if you look up Dawnna, my first name Dawnna, and my last name St. Louis, if you Google that and you say you can't find me, you lying because my URL is literally Dawnna.com. My social media is Dawnna St. Louis, and my website, like, I'm findable. Right.
Yes,
So I'm very
absolutely.
easily findable. But if you really want to know what's going on, just go to Firebrand or firebrand.net and you'll find me.
And it's fire with a Y, y'all. Fire
Fire
with the
with a
Y.
Y.
Because you know why? Because we challenge in the status quo.
That's right.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So thank you, Dawnna, for chilling with me today, conversating. It's always a treat, but thanks for taking time out your schedule. And hey, look forward to seeing y'all at the summit in the VIP section soon.
Get in the VIP section, get the front row tickets. If you're going to be there, then be there.
Absolutely. All right. Chat with y'all later.
Talk to you later.